Motor Mouth here in the Car Connection Workshop, working on happy bearings so that we have this logged into our YouTube library for you to see the truth on how these hubs and bearings come out. And this is the assembly, so you'll have to watch part 1, part 2, part 3, and this is part 4. Or is it 3.5? 3.75. Could be 3.65. But watch them all, because showed you how to get the bolts out, because you have to heat them to get the thread locker off. And then following the two people on YouTube, you should be able to just grab this and pluck it right out of there with this. This is what's going to help you pluck it out, because it ain't coming out. You got to get it out of there. So I use Slugger. Get ready. Count of 3. Thanks for tuning in. You're on the best part now, because this baby, she's got to go. And now how do we know this bearing is bad? Well, I can see the seal is let go here, and I can hear that bearing in there. It's rough, very rough. But I believe it's the other side that's really, really bad. But I can see some bluing on here, like the bearing got hot. So that's why I suggest change them in a pair. This one is probably better than the other side, but it's crunchy. And I'm sorry, but you won't be able to feel that. I don't even know if I could spin it fast enough so you could hear it, but with the weight of the engine and the weight of the wheels on the road surface, yeah, it's knocking. Hear it? Listen. Yeah, it's knocking, so it's done. So that's why I say it's cheaper, far cheaper for you to do hub and bearing assembly. You're not messing around with this old crusty thing to try and get the old bearing out and press a new one in. And no, they don't just fall out. Look at the corrosion in here. There's no way somebody online showing you how to do this is grabbing it and pulling it right out of there. You got to hit it with a sledgehammer. There is a tool that you can buy that you fasten to the front of the hub. But if you're doing this yourself at home, you're not going to buy that tool. You put the bolts in. It has a square flange with several holes in, and you bolt it to the flange, and then it comes up like an arm like this, like a trailer hitch, and you whack that, and it cocks it out of there in seconds. But if you're doing your own hubs and bearings, how often are you going to use that tool and spend, I don't know how much they are. If you're not doing these every day, I could see if you're doing them every day, you would want to do that. So where do we go from here? We got to clean this flange on the outside. We got to clean all this corrosion on the inside here. It's got to be spotless and shiny. And then we're going to put anti-seize on the mating surface right here, and it will slot right in there. And if the car's around long enough to do the bearings again, whoever does them next time, not me. Did I say that too loud? Did I say the quiet part out loud? Hey, Niall, will you do my wheel bearings for me on my ML350? No. Oh, possibly. Never. Maybe. Not in this lifetime. So, hey, somebody's got to do it. So thanks for stopping by. That's how you do it. And that's the ball joint down there. It's all billet aluminum. Here, expensive components, but I'll tell you, they don't come apart easy. They do not. Look at the tie rod here. If I have to get that off, that's not coming off easy. There's corrosion on the billet against the steel, and that's the biggest problem. You have dissimilar metals contacting each other. So here you have iron, steel, cold steel, against aluminum alloy, which is aluminum and nickel. And you can see that's why you got this corrosion. It's electrolysis. That's what it is. The two dissimilar metals cause corrosion together. And they don't call it corrosion. They call it something else, but it is corrosion. And you can see it right under here, because this is a steel nut with a washer underneath it, a steel washer against billet aluminum. And I can see the corrosion here. That's what makes it so tough to get off because they just literally weld themselves together. So I hope you enjoyed that. I didn't let you on purpose let you watch me beat it with a sledgehammer because I didn't want you to think that's what I'm going to do to your car, but that's what I'm going to do to get it off, or it's not coming off. You can use a slide hammer. I've never had success with it. I've had better success just hitting it on the top side here and then hitting it on the side because you're not using any of this. And just being careful you don't slam this, you don't hit that, you don't hit your flex hoses for your caliper. You just be nice and easy and short shots, but hard ones with a decent weighted hammer. You need something like this because I'll tell you right now, you'll be there for a month of Sundays trying to do it with this. Or I've seen guys doing it with this. Love tapping it to death. That ain't ever going to happen. It's not coming off. So you got to get mean and you got to get ugly. And you got to be careful. You don't hit the person's fender. You don't break anything else. But you got to strike it on the top, strike it on the sides, and you'll see it starting to walk and get out of there. Sometimes you can put a heel bar in here and one on the other opposite corner. And I tried that, but it was still too tight. I had them in there like that, and I still couldn't move it, but yet I had a gap there, so I just stayed with the method that works. Just keep tapping it from the top, the side, this side, back to the top, and you'll wiggle it, and it'll come out. I did spray it with some PB Blaster, and it has made its way in there, but still, it's corroded. It's going to be hard to get out. So take your time. It's not a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So take your time, use your tools wisely, don't get crazy and strip things off. You know, if you got to take a break, you take a break and then come back to it when your mind is back in the zone. But don't just keep pounding for the sake of pounding to get it out and you cause damage, because you could easily break the sensor off. Like I said, damage a flex hose. Now you're into, you got to buy the guy a wheel speed sensor and the flex line, and it just escalates. So take your time, stop, take a break, and use your tools wisely. Treat them with the uttermost respect, because those are the tools that help you to get the job done. So I hope you get something out of this. That's hub and bearing. It's going to be in our library. You'll have 4 mini-series there, and we'll see you in the next one. So don't forget to like, share, follow, and let your fellow car enthusiasts know about our YouTube channel and our podcast. Those are 2 different entities. I talk about different things every single day, Monday through Saturday, on our podcast. So come and join us for Motor Mouth's Morning Drive at 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday we do a 1-hour Q&A, question and answer show. So we'll see you there. Thank you to our sponsors for making this video possible.